Here with Concordia head football coach Patrick Daberkow to preview the 2022 Concordia football season. And as we record this, a few weeks away from the first official game of the season, coming off of last season, is there a noticeable difference kind of in the confidence level of your program? What does a 7-3 season like you had do for everybody's psychological well-being, I guess?
Psychological well-being, I don't know how it affects that. I think people, our guys are confident. We have a confident group, and we had a confident group going into last year, coming off of a 500 season. So it's good. I mean, obviously it's better to come off of a winning season, but our aspirations are higher than just 7-3 for a program, and so I believe that we have the leadership and the skill level and the coaching to get it done, and so just trying to get all that stuff on the same page is always a unique challenge every year, and it's August is always very exciting, and it's good to come off of a winning season, but last year doesn't really mean a whole lot once that ball gets kicked off on September 3rd.
How about any early impressions that just jump off the page for you from the first few days of practice?
Yeah, we got a team that really likes to play football. It's not like pushing and prodding. We got guys who want to win. They want to put the work in. I've been really impressed with our upperclassmen leadership this year, and just you get a bunch of guys from all over the place to come together in Seward, Nebraska, and work towards a common goal. And there needs to be some camaraderie built, and bonds need to form, and football does that. And our guys have kind of expedited that with how they've led this year, and so I think that's helpful.
About just looking over the past few years, I know the first year you were head coach, you had a lot of seniors that were key players, and so there was a process of getting to where you are. But what were some of the key elements and things that have led to getting to this point where you feel like you're in a good position now?
Well, patience from we endured a couple of really hard seasons. My second and third year as head coach, and the gratitude that I have for the people around Concordia to kind of patiently go, okay, we'll get it going. I think of Devin and Angela and upper cabinet and all that. It's pretty important to have everyone's support, and I have that here, and I feel that, and we're resourced, and I'm excited about where that can lead us.
Wanted to break down offense and defense a little bit, starting on offense. I know you're more heavily involved in play calling now, but how do you kind of expect things to evolve from where we saw this team at the end of last season?
Yeah, I think that in order to accomplish some of the goals that we have to move the ball and score more points, and a variety of ways that teams do that. At the end of the day, it comes down to blocking and completing passes and not tripping over your own feet, not having stupid penalties, and so it's just getting ourselves out of the way before we can really focus on opponents is kind of what fall camp is for. Procedural penalties and things like that, we need to ensure that we're not having any of issues with those, and it's nailing down the simple things and then getting ready for opponents.
I know you've always talked about the importance of being strong up front. You have 4 starters back on the offensive line, and one at center that started for 4 years and is back for a 5th year. But how has their progress kind of coincided too with the program taking steps forward too?
But you're going to be as good as your offensive line. And so we've made the offensive line a point of emphasis. Coach Cook has done a great job with them. We brought on an additional assistant at offensive line with Bryson Nacker. And so we feel like we're pouring everything we have into that group and without neglecting other groups, and we feel like we have a really good unit there if we can stay healthy. But man, preseason is just everything's talk right now. We got when the lights come on, and we'll see what we got.
How about with the passing game too? You have a quarterback back who threw for 19 touchdown passes. You have maybe some turnover at receiver, but you have a All-America caliber tight end too as well. But how are things progressing from a passing game standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, where we left off last year as far as progressing in the spring, we've added some tweaks over the course of the summer, added some things to the playbook. We took a 3-week install from spring and we're condensing it into 4 days during fall camp, and so it's like drinking from a fire hydrant right now for a lot of guys, a lot of the freshmen especially. But we got a good, hardworking group of receivers and tight ends, and so we feel like we'll have the tools in place to get it done, and we're excited about that group.
Safe to say the receiver group will look a lot different though. You do have Corral Colmoose back, but what's the competition like there?
Oh, the competition's great. We have some freshmen coming in and making great first impressions. We have some upperclassmen who've stuck around all summer and put in the work and are doing a great job. We really have. I feel strongly about the leadership on this team, and that's not just like the guys in our leadership council, but like some of the underclassmen, some like sophomores who are just doing a great job. It's just it's a matter of letting fall camp play out and seeing where things land after our scrimmages.
You'll have a new primary running back with Jonah Wine having graduated. Just what are you looking to get out of that position?
Oh, just a guy who can run the ball downhill, hit the gaps hard, and be explosive. A guy who can catch, a guy who can block, and we feel like we have. Devin Ziegler has been such a. Devin Ziegler might be one of the hardest working players that I've ever been around, and so he's really positioned himself well. Mark Arp is another guy, and we have other guys. Anytime you start naming people, you leave other people out that you shouldn't. But we have guys who are working hard in that room. I really think that room's going to produce this year, and I'm excited for them.
Moving over to defense, you're very veteran at linebacker last year, so you'll look a lot different there. But what do you feel are things that you can lean on defensively?
Well, if you talk about leaning on things defensively, we run to the football. And we're fast to the ball. We get 11 hats there. And that's something that we really pride ourselves in here. Coach Lonnie and Coach Ostin and Coach Combs do a great job. And every defense that Coach Ostin has coordinated has done that. And so that's something that I appreciate about our defensive mentality here is 11 hats to the ball and playing with speed and confidence. And I'm really excited about that group.
Well, up front, defensive line, you guys have developed some guys that were pretty young last year, and how about that group and the way they're progressing?
Yeah, they're, to say you guys developed them is quite the compliment, and we'll take it. But a guy like Kyle Sturp, who's put on good weight over the off season and just really worked hard to get to where he's at. You think of Jordan Cavalack and Devon Pauley and Tal Solo. I wish I wouldn't start naming names because then Keeper, Harp.
Cavalack, I don't think you mentioned him.
Yeah, Cavalack. Even like Stephen Hughes is developed. Like our upperclassmen have really put work in, and we're really excited about the young guys that we're adding to that group. We got a lot of young talent coming into that room, and so we're really excited about our defensive line.
And finally, secondary, you have a lot of guys back who have started, and even a guy like Jason Armstrong who sat out last year.
Yeah.
But I imagine there's some pretty good competition there too.
Yeah, Bug broke his leg against Dort, and then sat out the rest of the season with that Jason. And he's got experience. Miles Lyons has come on strong. Guys like Karsten McCarter and Carson Core. They're all playing well. Cam Baker and Isaiah Connor. Michael Doyle's coming up. You know, like we got a lot of guys in that room. Gabe Nisley is a guy who's made big plays in games for us. And so just looking through that list, it's exciting to see that group kind of come together. And there's guys I haven't named that, you know, are upperclassmen that are ready to turn the corner too. So we feel good. We feel good about, you know, defensively. We know we got guys who can play and guys who can play together and run to the ball.
If you ain't first, you're last.